So it's been like a month now, and I wanted to share about this sooner, but I just haven't gotten the time to do it. The time. Uh, and I wanted to share a little bit about my ninth Aya or Yahe ceremony. I know a lot of people are curious, and I'm always a little apprehensive to share, but I think it's important to talk about and share my journey and such a huge part of my life. I consider myself to be a bit of a psychonaut and maybe a little psycho too, whatever. Very into plant medicine. And I just wanted to share briefly my really wild, but not so wild, ninth experience with the grandmother spirit. Uh, it was seemingly the most calm yet possibly most profound experience. I have been sitting in ceremony for about 8 years now, and I have done probably over 30 plant medicine ceremonies. So I have quite the experience, and everyone is so unique, and you go in expecting things to happen, especially doing it so much as I do it. And I think I hit a point in my life again where I was struggling so much with my mental health. My anxiety came back, my attachment issues, fear, imposter syndrome, all these things, depression, things that I've dealt with majority of my life. And I really just didn't know how to navigate. And that's where, plant medicine is a great alternative. That doesn't mean it's for everyone. I'm not telling everyone to go do it. I'm just simply sharing what has helped me in my own journey. And it was so interesting because I was essentially waiting for something to happen and nothing was happening. I usually you have a first cup of the brew, you might purge, you go on a little bit of a journey, and then they usually call you up for a second cup, you go in deeper. And normally by this time, I'm in outer space, I'm meeting aliens, I'm crying, I'm purging. We call it getting well. So you might be throwing up, you might be going to the bathroom, you might be having visuals, you might be screaming, crying, all sorts of things. And normally that's usually my experience. And this time was very different. My ego would not shut off. And essentially, I felt like I was feeling nothing. So I was almost angry. And, the interesting thing about this kind of healing, plant medicine, psychedelics, is the journey is exactly what it's supposed to be for your body and for that time and for what you're going through. And I think that's the ultimate message. I did not have a crazy explosive experience. I even went to the shaman and I asked if I needed a third cup, and they kind of were like, this is the experience, be with it. And I think I was angry because I'm so used to it being a certain way. And of course, we're control freaks. I'm a control freak too. And that's why I do something like this, because it helps me get out of that really limited perception and limited way of thinking, which we get caught in every single day. We can't see anything outside of like our one view. So that's why I think it's important, if you are like that, if you are type A, OCD, very controlling, control freak, it's good to get out of that, because it helps you come back and then navigate in your everyday life. So this is something that's completely transformed my life, has been helping me now for 8 years, is the only reason I'm still here today. And so I preach by it. So back to my story. So yeah, I wasn't really feeling anything, and the only message that I think I did speak with God, and God kind of mocked me and laughed at me and said, girl, you've been here so many times before. You know what you're doing. You don't need to be here. You're kind of on your own. And I was like, really? That's the message? That's the big aha moment? And it was so funny, but like I was angry, but so profound at the same time. And now coming out on the other side, now a month out of it, I feel better than I have in years. I feel happier. I feel more whole. I feel more tapped into myself. I feel more connected to my future, my vision, my purpose. And that's why it's so interesting to think that nothing was happening, but at the same time, everything was happening. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit about my story and my journeys. I don't get to share enough. I share more on like YouTube, and I hope to be doing that more. Like I said, I'm always a little apprehensive. And I think it's just really important for people to understand what it is and to understand deeper about themselves. And if it's something that resonates with you and you're feeling stuck on your journey, or you're feeling like you have trauma or things that you need to release, it's basically like 10 years of therapy in a night. So, yeah, I think it's a magical thing, and I love you guys, and I hope people get value out of this. I know this is like a little bit of a longer story, but I think people are always curious, and I don't talk about it as enough as I should, and I'd like to share more. So, yeah, love you guys. Aho.